guys, Mark from Gunpla Network. Today, bringing you this very special review of another PBandai kit. Love doing these. When I did the Exia, that was great, and other kits. Side 7. Thanks for sending this over, Gus. It was a really cool kit to assemble. You can see it spinning here in its naked form, just the inner frame with a few stickers for the GN drives and condensers. And that's all I've got on it at the moment. So this is the bare bones, what you get out of the box when you just assemble the frame and armor, or inner frame armor parts. You can see the little cockpit in the chest. And other than that, it's pretty detailed. Probably could use some painting, but out of the box, pretty decent. Here he is right now. You can see him spinning around with all the weapons and stuff that he comes with. So don't call him the Seven Swords for nothing. You can see a sword on each shoulder, hip joints, one on each leg. You've then got the beam sabers. He's a fully loaded kit, as you can see, all stickered up. I did gloss coat this and panel line with the stickers, and that's all I did to get this outer box finish. The colour is slightly orangish red, not a straight red. Onto the accessories, you can see this is what it comes with assembled out of the box. You have your Setsuna F. Seye or Sorum Ibrahim figure. I haven't painted him yet, I'll get to that. And if you're looking for a tutorial on that, we've got one here on GN for painting your pilot figures. Oops, there he goes. The GN Buster Sword 2. Now this sword has its own articulation, spin it around. There's the handle that you can use and a clip for the, that's the lock-in for the drive part. That hole there on the back will give you a forearm mounting clip. The handle can extend as well as the base of the sword. So this extends outwards. It's a little bit locked in place. And that's where it slides over the GN drive, but to cover that you get the guards on the front. The handle will slide out and it has a grip in it for the hand. If you want to slide that back up and then slide out the side pieces, slide up the guard covers for the hand, and then slide out the white part there. It'll give you some green stickers as well as some clear green pieces for effect parts. Fully stick it up. That's what it looks like. This is the GN Rifle Sword 2. I might have got that wrong, sorry guys. This is the shooting sword, or big weapon I guess you would say, for the kit. The other one was just a straight out sword. This one actually shoots as well. Interesting mounting and locking mechanism. So separate that part there. You have the hand locking on to the right hand, it's meant for. The inner part there, the top part locks down, and if you look and see that grey piece coming out of the red underarm part, that slides into the back of the forearm, top of the forearm, as well as the hand, giving it a pretty stable connection. You use this clip here, it slides over the grey hilt guard piece, and that's how that locks onto the shoulder mechanism, as you would have seen it was held on when you saw it in the preview video. And sorry, yeah, I should have pointed out, you get two of these white pieces. You can either use it with the GN Buster Sword 2, or you can use them on the GN Katars, which I'll show you later, if you want to have them on the back of the forearms. You get a clear stand, which I was really impressed that Bandai provided this, because the sword is so heavy, the Buster Sword, that if you're trying to hold it up without supporting it in any way, the arms are just going to wear down after a minute. I couldn't get it to hold it up properly. You've got the GN Sword 2 Long, and this turns into a rifle mode, so rotate that around, lock it in place, okay, and then you move the red guard down, separate the handles, one locks in for the hand and one to lock in on the top of the forearm, and there it is in rifle mode. You can also display it in with that, there's a hand grip if you want to try and two-hand it. I found that really difficult to get the left arm, shoulder, hand combo around to be able to hold it in a decent firing pose. The GN2 short sword, slightly different. You can rotate it around and put it into rifle mode, or, as you can see there, same mechanism at the base, it's just the blade is different. that part comes off, it's on its own. Yeah, it's the rifle mode, no handle on this one, it's too short for that. But if you want to do that, as you would have saw in a video I've got later on, that this black cable that you get there is to give an effect part of like a bit or a sword bit. You can flick that off like a whip. Pretty cool. And the GN2 Katars. So these you can either hold in the hand and have him, you know, fighting with them like another sword weapon, or you can use the hole on the back with these white pegs, the two that you get, so you wouldn't be able to mount the Buster Sword. But if you have that, you can clip those onto the back of his forearms with the handles, and it's kind of like he can sling them as a shield, or he's got more momentum throwing them, I guess. Yeah, that was really cool. And then you get the two standard beam sabers. I actually have two more beam sabers I haven't taken off the runner yet. Hands, you get two closed fists, as you would have seen in the preview. You get two open expressive hands. And I was short one white cover. I may have lost one, but yeah, I had to change those around when I wanted to use them. You get two real grade hands. Now, I use these with the Katars, and they seem quite fine for that, but I wouldn't use these if you were holding the GN Buster Sword or the Sword Rifle 2, something like that. Only the lightest things, beam sabers, things like that. So they've got the 3-1 thumb. Pretty standard fare by now. You then get two sword open holding hands, as well as a trigger finger hand for the right. So for the Sword Rifle 2, I would probably use that one. And that's it for the accessories. Now here you go, guys. You can see him spinning around here in kind of a cut down form. I took all of the weapons off for you so you can see what it looks like without them. He is very glossy. That gloss is far glossier than I was ever expecting. He's all stickered up. Let's move that base back. So we'll talk about the overall looks of the kit now. You basically got a reddy orange going on, white, and kind of like a almost Shah salmon pink for the waist, hip, and feet cover. There's the decals. I pretty much put them on as per the guide on this one because I was sealing it with gloss coat, and there's a lot. There is a lot to do. Some of them I found would not stick down, so if you're not going to be gloss coating this, you might struggle with the stickers, but get yourself a can of matte or gloss spray and it'll be fine. Overall, it adds to the effect of it, I think. I'm not really into decaling a lot of kits, like with heaps of decals, but with this I think it actually works out pretty good. On the gimmick side, you've got the Cockpit cover, which slides down, but it does lock in place, so we just need to get that open. Slide the cover down, you can see it comes off of the chest piece, and then that little piece there, if you lift that up with tweezers, knife edge, be very careful. That is your Setsuna's cockpit. Now, not any detail down there, you know, you could have him standing above it, but it's a cool effect nonetheless at 1/144 scale. And just click that back up and over, and there you go. We'll talk about the drives and how they mount, and if you slide them open, which is really hard once you've gloss coated the hell out of a kit and you're trying to use white gloves, pop the drive out. I'll just show you that. It's really cool getting two GN drives for this. So remember, one is Exia's GN drive and one is the O Gundam's drive. So that's a decal that goes around the top, the grey piece. You get 3 warning labels near the open parts of the GN drive. And then nothing really on the back, that's just a grey piece I've panel washed. The inside green pieces you see are 2 parts. That's a green sticker with a green cover over it. So if you look around, that's pretty cool. If you put it back in the right way, push down, it locks into the tab at the bottom, and then if you close that down on top, that'll seal it in. But with that top part slid up, you can actually move the drive up and down, you can rotate it around. And then, for anyone who's seen Season 2, when Setsuna finally gets the twin drive, or the, you know, 00 Gundam activated, it apparently has a timing lag, and with the Trans Am activated, the drives push to the front, which I'll show you when I open up this one now. And you could have him leaning forward like he's on the catapult. He's activated the GN drives and he's used all the particles to push those Jinx mobile suits or GNX mobile suits back. So there you go. Once you've got those unlocked, they provide a range of movement on the GN drives, shoulder mounted, which is really cool. So you can push them all the way back. And remember, having those swords mounted on top of those, you really need to use the locking mechanism. Otherwise the drives are just going to fall flat everywhere. They're not going to have any hold on them. Sorry if you can hear a helicopter flying over right now. I live near an Air Force base and they're doing their afternoon flyovers. So push those back down again and you'll be able to lock the drives back in place. The head, really detailed. Love the little decal over the red clear piece. 00 Gundam, not a riser because there's no riser on this. You can see that the head will look pretty far up, pretty far down. The antennas and everything, there's a lot of spikiness like going on around the head there with the cockpit cover, the head V-fins. Wheel turn all the way around. Just be careful not to knock off those little cat-like ears, I guess, on the back of the head, because they will come out really easily. Okay, and you will get a little side to side. So that's a really decent head movement on that. Went through the GN drive cover one already. The arms, they will get a good amount of bend in the elbow. You see the GN condenser covers on the side. Oh, sorry, the shoulder cover will actually go up too, so it's kind of only limited at the moment by the fact that the GN drives over the top of it, otherwise you can actually tilt those a fair bit. The arms will go up, but remember, they'll go up further once you move the GN drives out of the way. Good amount of arms, and compared to earlier real grades, I feel like this one actually wasn't as bad in terms of the shoulders coming off, the armor covers coming off. You can get a low bend there, and just while I've got it, there's the wrist guard will move a little. So on the shoulders, they will pop forward a little, but the GN drives, obviously you need to unlock them to move those. The chest vent parts, they actually have a little movement in their own around the chest, in a chest part. The waist will be able to crunch forward. Pretty good movement, front and back. Turn side to side, but then you will be caught on the back skirt cover. The front skirt, you'll be able to move it up and down, and really stable front skirt compared to some other real grades. The side skirts will go up and down, and a little rotation for the swords to be able to pose. The back skirt has 2 beam sabers in it. Oh, sorry, let's remove the backpack actually. So there's the backpack, it just locks on 2 tabs. So there you go, that'll move up, move down, and it will turn as well. And the beam sabers are on ball joints in there, and they can turn, you know, to give you some movement, I guess, on the back skirt. Sides of the legs looking pretty cool there. Very beefy looking knee covers this time, because that's where the GN Katars sit, as you were seeing in the preview. He can do almost full splits apart from the side skirts. Legs will go pretty much mostly back. He'll just hit the back skirts and beam sabers, which you can move out of the way. Front skirt moves up, and he will go a good amount of distance up as well on the front. So he's really poseable, and more importantly, really stable. When I was moving this kit around compared to some other kits, I felt like, you know, they're coming apart while I'm moving them. This one wasn't. I did break a couple of things, like a knee cover I had to glue on the left side there, as well as the right hand chest vent. My fault though, not the kit's. I was too rough with moving them, but they glued back in place really easily. On the ankles and feet, you can move them side to side. You can move them back and forward. And the feet has that 3-point articulation that we come to expect from the real grades. But sometimes the toe cover will pop off. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this this pinky color. The white, the red, the green, some silver metallic stickers on the joints, all really cool. But yeah, I just would have preferred like a different tone of red, I think, for me, for the inspection colors. And if I was repainting or painting one this scheme, I probably wouldn't use a pink, too close to Shah stuff. The toe cover had come off there. All right, so that's it for that. Now, we'll go over some of the accessories just quickly again. So that's the GM Buster Sword 2 on the stand. I've got a little bit of blue tack holding that down because it won't actually balance like that. But if you have him holding it in hand as well as using that stand, it'll be really stable and it'll stay in your cupboard in that pose forever. It'll never move. It's really, really good that Bandai included this stand. You could also use it with like your action-based 4.5s, the newer ones, have a clear part like that you would be able to use. You can see him here in this pose where I've got him on the action base, but I've used the stand that Bandai provided, so he's kind of like lunging forward in open expressive hands, and he's still able to hold that sword up one-handed. Now, you wouldn't be able to do that if you didn't use that stand. Alright, and here we go with the two GN swords, the short and the long. There's that black cable piece with the kind of like a sword bit / whip that you can put forward. Just love the amount of gimmicks that have been rolled into this kit. It could potentially become one of my favourite real grades very quickly. Alright guys, and here he is with the PBandai Trans Am RGXia, just going around. So you can see a bit of a height difference, beefiness difference, but overall, and he's holding the GN Katars. I love this kit. This was a really good real grade, a lot of accessories, tons of posability and fun. A++, I would definitely buy this kit. Alright guys, big thanks to Side 7 for sending this over for review. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you got this yourself, the inspection or the other one, leave a comment what you thought. If you're going to buy this, let us know. Remember to use the Gunpla Network discount code for Side 7 exports. And as always, have fun building. Bye bye.